Hey guys, welcome to a shorter version of Doc Leo Talks Comics and talking about my weekly pickup at the shop. I told you a while back I had cut back on some books, and mostly I've had a pretty big week most weeks, but this one is only 3 books, and then I've got a surprise for my friend Bama at the end of the video. So let's go ahead and dig in to see what books I picked up this week. First off, we have the book of the week, and it was Dork by Brett Bean, Frank William, and Nate Picos. And this book just continues to amaze. We're all the way up to issue 7 of the saga of the half dork, half orc, and all dork character. And you open up with this amazing splash page of Dork falling out of the sky, and he is headed down into the nastiness, into the bog. So, is this character from the bog going to actually show up? Let's see. So you have continuation of the conversation with the shield asking him, "Hey, you okay, buddy?" And the chicken said, "Should we?" And the shield said, "Let's just give him some space." He really found out, just who his father is. So he found out that Gloinspear, the dwarf, was trying to kill him in the last few issues, is his father. And let's see. And the shield says, "I forget that as strong as he is on the outside, that he can still be hurt and not show it." And so he ends up breaking into, or not breaking into, but he finds this woman who lives in the bog, okay? And she says, "You look like you could use some help. Please come inside. You're soaked. What happened to you?" And then he tells her about everything that's been going on. And she says, "It's okay. You're safe here." And about that time, here comes the bog creatures to smash through the door, the devil's door. And he fights them off and ends up talking to the woman. And the woman says, let's see, "It's bog monsters. They're made of leftover parts of the swamp, and they're easy to wash away. They usually leave me alone if I don't disturb the waters. Do come in. I'm sorry about the mess, and my name is Melinda." And she says, "The bog men won't be back tonight. It takes them a while to put themselves back together. Thank you for protecting my home. Sleep well, my knight in shining armor." And he says, "Good night, my lady." And and the chicken says, "Her name's pronounced Melinda." And he's like, "I was trying to be proper. I know what her name is." So anyway, the next day, so she gave him a tea the night before. And he says, "What was in the tea from last night?" And she says, "Oh, the delicious tea that destroys the bogmen, but with a smooth aftertaste. It was a special brew that my late husband taught me about. May he rest in peace. I've been using it on the bogmen ever since." So, that evening, here come the bogmen again. And it seems like they're really bad people. But in the end, he finds out that Melinda is not as magnificent as she came off to be in the beginning. And instead, she's literally a succubus trying to suck his soul out of his body. And she calls herself the Lady of the Lake. And then we get this 2-page spread here that says, "Not this time, you moist harpy." And so it's the chicken head on the kind of the bogman body. And he's attacking the Lady of the Lake with the sword with the eye. And let's see. She says, "How dare you? You won't take my loves away from me." And the chicken says, "How's your hand?" And he says, "It kind of works." And he says, "Then berserk this succubus in the face hole." And she's screaming and hollering. And eventually he force feeds her the candle that she had in her place. And that supposedly, it's got all of these bad properties in it to make her confused and all of that. And so the chicken ends up walking her into the lake. And she doesn't drown because she's the lady of the lake, but she's returned to her place. And then at the end, I'm not going to spoil it, but we have another character that's searching for Dork. So in issue 8, are we going to see the destruction of Dork by another character, or are we going to see the continuation of his adventure? I want to see the continuation of his adventure, personally. I want to see how this thing concludes. I know I'm not ready for it to conclude, but I really, really like this. So bravo to Brett Bean and Frank William and Nate Picos and company. You guys have a glorified, bona fide hit on your hands. All right, next up, with a close runner-up, was the Fury of Firestorm, issue number 5. We get to see the fight, if you can call it that, between, let's see, Firebird, I believe, and Firehawk. Firehawk tries to go into the Matrix. Not that Matrix. The Matrix, the Firestorm Matrix, and bring Ronnie out, because Professor Stein thinks that her love is the only thing that can tether Ronnie and bring him back from the void. And so what the Matrix has done is put him into a world where he's fighting his friends that Eclipso has supposedly taken over. And Professor Stein says, "Wake up, Ronald." And he says, "What are you talking about, Professor? I'm a little busy dealing with Eclipso here." "Yes, but look behind us. Eclipso's mob of the possessed is growing." And he says, "Where did Hawkman and Green Arrow go? I can't stop all of that." And he says, "You must try." And he says, "But Professor, why am I alone?" And about that time, Hawkman comes up behind him, puts him in a chokehold, and Oliver Queen goes to shoot an arrow at him. But as it's coming towards him, Ronnie's able to change the arrow into some flowers. And you eventually see Firehawk, "Ronnie, please, it's me. You have to come back to the surface." And the Firestorm Matrix says, "There is no Ronnie Raymond. He is not I." And she says, "No, I know you can hear me." And so she keeps fighting. And he says, "You resist, but you shall be consumed. All will be consumed." And she says, "Consumed by what?" And he says, "The change, the eternal change. First this world, then all worlds." And she just keeps hitting him until eventually he hears her voice and he comes back to her. And he says, the Firestorm Matrix says, "No more." And she says, "I won't fight you. I know that Ronnie hears me." "Yes, I hear you. I won't fight, but I won't give up either." "Lorraine, help me." And Firestorm says, "Stop." And she says, "No, I'll never give up on you, Ronnie." And she pulls him free. And that's what I keep saying about this Jeff Lemire run on Firestorm, is that he brings that melancholy feel. He brings, something heavy. But in this book, he also, now he's freed Ronnie Raymond. Now there's going to be hell to pay when he finds out about Professor Stein and all of that. But in this issue, you get the redemption arc in one issue. You get the hero being saved. And it's not that he asked to be saved. He didn't understand. He was in a universe folded within a universe, within a universe, within a universe. He didn't know what was reality. But now that he does, there's going to be hell to pay. I can imagine that Ronnie is going to freak out about what the Firestorm Matrix has done. He's going to do his best to undo what's been done. And then he's going to have some answering to do to the Justice League and the other heroes of the DCU. But this book, if you're not reading this book, please do. Please do. This is one of the best books that DC's putting out right now, and you're not doing yourself a favor if you're not reading it. All right. And speaking of good books, this is the penultimate issue by James Tynion IV, Alvaro Martinez Bueno, and Jordi Belair. This is The Nice House by the Sea, issue 11. And the main thing to know here is that the houses are aware of each other now. So the Nice House on the Lake and the Nice House by the Sea are aware of each other, and there are two biospheres, and the biospheres are kind of coming together because there was one from each house that they started tinkering with the mechanicals. They found a control panel and they started tinkering with things. And one of the coolest pages on here, it shows the biospheres, and it says sea biome. So the nice house on the sea biome atmosphere is 17% depleted. The lake, so nice house by the lake. Nice house on the lake and nice house by the sea. So the sea is 17% depleted, and the lake house is 53% depleted. But you get Walter, and you get Max, and you get these two main characters, and Walter, he doesn't want to hurt his friends. He never wanted to hurt his friends. He goes back and looks at a conversation between, let's see. He goes back and looks at a conversation for somebody that he wanted to be more than friends with. And that person, it says, I don't want to be saved just because you want to save me. I want to earn this. I want to deserve this. I want to be deserving of being one of the last people on earth if everything goes to hell. And so eventually Walter says, I have this space and I have you as my friends. I'm trying to stop the breaking of the rules. I'm trying to bring everything back together. By the way, I know that that's been very vague, but overall these two stories are very big. The first one is about the end of the world, and then this one is showing a different house, but still supposedly the end of the world. But these people were chosen by a character named Max. So you have Walter and Max, and they have opposing religiosities, I guess you could say, opposing viewpoints. And Walter says, enough death, enough of destruction. I don't want to see any more destruction. There doesn't need to be any more destruction. We've lied to these people long enough, and I'm not going to lie to them anymore. And so in the end, he starts showing them what the world really looks like using his powers. And then you get to see something on the last page, and it makes sense, but it doesn't make sense. It's kind of kooky, it's kind of crazy, but this leads into issue 12. When issue 12 comes out, I think in 2 months maybe, or possibly 3, and then you get to finish this series off. And you better believe, now that we have 2 complete series, I'm going to go back and sit down and read the entire 12 issues of the first series and the entire 12 issues of the second series, and then do a retrospective on both of those, tying them together. That video is probably going to be like 12 hours long. So strap in. But excellent series from DC Vertigo. And again, if you're not checking it out, this time I would wait, get the first trade paperback, and then wait for the second trade, because there's only one more issue. But it is absolutely top-notch, heady, thinking man's kind of stuff. So I do have one more surprise before the end of this video. And one of the videos that I did talking about the newly anticipated books that were coming this week, I mentioned that I have a slab of Amazing Spider-Man issue 100. And I guess that video happened early on in the channel, before Bama became a member of the channel. I'm a subscriber, rather. And so he asked to see the slab. So I'm going to show you guys once again. Here is my 8.0 slab of Amazing Spider-Man issue 100 by Stan Lee and John Romita Sr. You can see how clear it is on the back as well. I hope you guys can see this through the plastic, because not only do I have it in a CGC holder, but I also have it in plastic, which is how it came. So this made me very, very happy to own, guys, because it was one of the issues that I didn't think I would ever be able to afford. It was a little pricey when I got it, but it's not pricey like ASM #1 or AF-15. But still, it gave me a starting point, okay? Because I've got most of the issues, well, I've got all the issues of Volume 1 going back from 441, which is where Volume 1 ended, all the way back to 184. So I'm only missing, and I do have some of those issues from issue 100 to 184. Then I have a very few issues from 99 back to issue 1. So now that I have issue 1, and then I have issue 100, I can work towards filling those gaps in. And now that I have issue 100 and I have a stopping point at 183, then I can start to fill that gap in as well. And eventually, hopefully, one day, maybe on the 10th anniversary of this channel, I can come to you and I can say, I have been blessed, I have been gifted, and this, whatever issue this is, 2, 3, 100, 101, 173, I don't know. I don't know what issue will be the last, but I can come to you and I can say, here's the last issue that I needed, ASM 1 through whatever issue we're on, because not only do I have from 183 on to 441, but I've got every single issue past that. Now, I can't claim that I have every annual, but I do have every single issue of the main runs, including Amazing Scarlet Spider, Web of Scarlet Spider, Spectacular Scarlet Spider, and I don't think there was a fourth title, if I don't remember. I don't think there was Sensational Scarlet Spider, but I even have those. So, guys, I'm not going to beg, I'm not going to come on this channel, but if you have any copies of ASM that are through 101 through 183 or anything like, anything from issue 2, which I know that's not going to happen. But anyway, from issue 2 all the way through issue 99, hit me up in the DMs. Hit me up in the comments, and then we'll talk. And, if you've got anything you're willing to get rid of, if you're looking, to gift me something, that would be superior. That would be nice. I'm not asking for that. Please don't think that. But if any of you guys have an AOK book that you have a duplicate of in your collection, I would be grateful if you'd send it my way. I'm not asking, I'm not begging, but it would be cool to get some AOKs. I would be AOK with that. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to show you that book and let you see that this is one of the milestones of the collection, and I am so happy to have it in my collection. Bama, thank you for reminding me that not everybody's been here since video 1 of this channel. But if you have not yet, please like and subscribe to the channel. I would love to have each and every one of you see all of these videos as they come in, day out. I've got a lot more stuff coming for you guys. I am trying to figure out how to record these maybe on my DSLR camera and then send them and then add images up here by me or down here, this way. Hadn't figured that out yet. Also, if anybody knows how to do any video editing, please reach out to me. I'd love to have somebody give me some pointers on how to add images up here so that when I'm talking about Batman issue number 244, I don't have to just hold up a copy of the book or hold up dead air if I don't have a copy. So I'm looking to make this channel better for you guys. Not for me, but for you. So I'm trying to give back to you guys. So anyway, thank you for joining me. I know this was a little bit of a shorter video than what I'm used to doing on Wednesdays, but it was a shorter haul this week. So maybe I picked up a few extra issues here and there. Who knows? Could be a video. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Thanks for joining me, guys and ladies. Y'all have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.